King Cyrus's fatherhood. At noon, Robert high, like only he could. The fables are bizarre but good. It's Myth Thunderstood.
Stay.
I like the second one better. That's good.
Thank you. We've been here trying to nail this down for hours, so finally,
finally
got
got
a good
it.
take.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for joining us for another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi. And hey, whose face is in that spaghetti bowl over there? It's Sarah Oliver.
Me. It's always me.
Sarah, that's a true thing about you is that you love pasta.
Okay. So last episode, you started off talking about my cat, and then we talked about a cat myth and some cat goddesses. So I can only assume, since you've asked me about spaghetti, that today's episode is about the god of spaghetti.
That is actually incorrect this time.
Because I am the god of spaghetti.
But I was yes, you are the god of spaghetti. I just wanted to learn about your love of spaghetti and Italian pasta dishes.
You know, it's so creepy. I actually had spaghetti for dinner and then lunch today, because if I make a vat, it's gone in less than 12 hours, baby. And of course, you always make the full box of spaghetti, being like, and this will last me a few days. You fool. But I had edamame noodles for the first time.
How'd it go?
It's okay. It's passable. It's
Okay.
not great.
What does that mean, edamame? Like it's not like you can get like a sun-dried tomato or like a spinach noodle, which is just like a regular pasta with like those flavors infused.
Yes.
But this is that?
Allegedly, it's just edamame.
So it's just soybean.
Yeah, which also isn't great. So
Yeah.
for me, but it's like higher protein. I don't know. It's supposed to be better for you, but just fucking have the noodles, people.
Okay. So you enjoyed it though?
Yeah, and then on God, what day was it? Sunday. I ordered my linguine.
Wow, linguine. I believe. Yep.
And clams, which I get from Speranza.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's very good.
Did I ever tell you about when I was in Italy with my family and we went to
What age?
oh boy, I was probably like 12 or 13.
But a child.
I was but a child. And we went to a restaurant and everyone, lo and behold, we were in Italy, that no one spoke English at that restaurant. And so we were ordering food off the menu and my mom decided to
Order the unlimited breadsticks.
let the staff know that we didn't want any beef with our meal, but she didn't know how to say that.
She said, we don't want any trouble with a meal on accident. Okay? We're not here for any troubles.
And instead of just saying like, hey, we don't want no beef,
Did she start mooing?
she did.
Oh my God, I love her. I love her. I know her and I love her.
She said, no moo. No moo. No moo.
Yeah.
And then made horns on her head with her hands.
Oh, it's so good because you're at the most embarrassable age
Yeah.
that you'll ever be too. Because if this happened now, you'd just be like, "Ah, mama." And but at that age, it's like mortifying.
What is sort of funny too is that my mom speaks Spanish and French, or she's had classes in both of those languages
At charm school.
at charm school, yeah. And she is fairly fluent in Spanish. Her French is a little thin, but if you know one Romance language, you sort of know that, like, hey, I can sort of pick up pieces here and there.
Italian's a little bit.
Oh,
It's harder.
yeah, Italian's a little bit more difficult. But on that same trip, it was like a trip. It was such a lovely trip that I'm really grateful for. That began coast of Spain, coast of France, coast of Italy. So we just did like a little U around the Adriatic Sea.
Wow.
And in France, my mom decided to try to speak French, and she wanted pineapple juice at a restaurant, or asked if they had any, and she accidentally said potato instead of pineapple, and they squeezed a potato for her.
No. What did it come out to look like, Paul?
Looks like white Powerade.
There's no water in a potato.
Sure there is.
Oh.
In like an uncooked potato? Yeah.
No, not in the same sense that there is in a fruit.
Sure, but you could like make a smoothie out of it, which is sort of what it was. It was like clumpy potato water.
It's just mashed potatoes.
No, it's got.
Did she drink it to
No.
be polite?
No, but it was.
The time it took to squeeze that potato. If I'm the guy in charge of the smoothies, I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
Well, and
This is why they hate Americans.
Well,
You asked them to squeeze a potato, you goddamn drink it.
I feel like they did it sort of out of contempt of Americans. It's like, oh, you're gonna butcher our language, we'll butcher a potato for you. So anyway, you like pasta,
Yep.
and it's great.
I love pasta. I love gnocchi.
Mhm.
I love every kind of noodle we got.
Great.
Eggplant, give it to me. Red sauce all the way. Nope, I'm not into any of those fucking cream sauces. I'll either do olive oil and garlic with white wine sauce or red.
No pesto for you either.
Oh, I like honestly, I like a pesto on a sandwich more than I like it on a pasta.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then you'll dip your sandwich in a soup.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Usually a tomato soup too.
Uh-huh.
It's all back to red.
Anyway, so that has nothing to do with what we're talking about today. We're going to talk about two gods that I have ignored a little bit along this journey, and I need to make it up to them.
Yeah.
And,
or else
or I'll be
you're going to be
smoked.
stuck in the 12 hells of Drew Barrymore.
That's true. So these two gods are Thoth and Hathor, which I've mentioned.
We've talked about them.
I've mentioned them along the way, but I didn't really talk about their origins, what they do.
Wait, but Hathor came out of an eyebrow.
Yes, sometimes.
Oh,
Because
geez,
everyone's
it's
got
one of these
sometimes.
fucking things.
Yeah. We're going to start with Thoth first. What do we know about Thoth so far?
I forgot everything. Tell me.
Thoth is the Ibis-headed god of writing, magic, wisdom, and the moon, because everyone's got to have a thing.
I love that.
Yeah.
Those are great things.
He was one of the most important gods of ancient Egypt, alternately said to be either born of the seed of Horus from the forehead of Set. So if you remember when...
He was out of the cum salad?
Yes. So if you remember when Horus's semen oozed out of Set's head, sometimes this results in Thoth being born, just like all together.
Oh, two daddies.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Or born of the lips of Ra.
This guy's just spewing babies all out of his face.
Yeah, he's just babies.
It's a very fertile
He
face.
shakes his head
Yeah.
like my cat eats food, and babies fly everywhere.
Wow.
Or Thoth is self-created at the beginning of time, and then transforms into not just Ibis head, but full Ibis mode, and lays the cosmic egg, which holds all of creation.
Well, those are very different origin stories.
Yeah, uh-huh. So at his worst, he's born out of cum leaking out of some guy's forehead, and at best, he's the god of all gods.
So let's pretend Thoth is Spider-Man.
Okay.
And you know how they do a billion origin movies of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Which actor that's played the Spider-Mans up to this point gets which origin story?
Oh, that's a really odd series of questions.
I think, no, it's not.
Okay.
Because all of these are what the fucking comic books are based on anyways.
Okay.
All myths. I think Tom Holland is squeezed out of the forehead cum.
Okay. Why does he have the worst origin?
I mean...
Is it because he's the most down to earth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he would do well with two dads, you
Okay.
know? I think he could make it cute. He can make it charming. Like,
Is-
I'm just some forehead cum and now I'm a bird.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. I think Tobey Maguire is the laying the egg because Sam Raimi would make that bizarre, right?
Sure.
I think also director-wise, like, this works with this guy.
Okay.
And then what's the other one?
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, no, but what's the other origin? He's born from
the lips of Ra.
the lips of Ra. Yeah,
Which,
that's Andrew Garfield because
I
it's
mean-
less exciting.
Well, I also thought though that like because he was the most wisecracking of all the Spider-Mans, that sort of makes the most sense for him.
You thought he was the most wisecracking?
Yeah, they like that was sort of the complaint about him actually, was that they were like, he's not the relatable dork that we all love. He was like too like jerky, which is like what they sort of lean into, is that he was like, he always had a good like insult comic moment for the enemies that he was fighting.
Fascinating.
Anyway, so that has, again, nothing to do with what we're talking about.
But it helps us remember. Now we've assigned a Spider-Man to each origin.
Great. So the goddess of truth and divine balance, Ma'at, was often seen as his wife, but he has a few options because he was around forever, and so when you live for thousands of years, you're gonna go through a few wives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another of his consorts was the goddess Nehemetawi, who's
You could sing it.
Nehemetawi, and her name stood for she who embraces those in need. So she was a protector goddess.
Okay, so she marries the one, the Tom Holland one.
Uh-huh.
He's got issues.
And then Seshat, who is goddess of writing, the keeper of books, and the patron goddess of libraries and librarians, who was sometimes his daughter too.
Andrew Garfield.
Okay. In every version of the conflict of Horus and Set, Thoth is the scribe who records the events of the contest and offers advice to both of the gods. He heals
Either as a friend or as a son.
Yeah. He heals both Horus and Set at different times in their battle in order to make sure that both sides are equally capable and none gain advantage over the other, so that the contest will be fair. He's completely bipartisan, even when one side is clearly worse than the other.
Wow.
So that's his whole thing. In one myth, Thoth is credited with helping Nut give birth to her children, Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys. So basically how this comes about, I don't know if you remember, but Geb and Nut ran away to go be intimate with each other into the darkness. And so Ra sent his Eye of Ra to go find them.
Why can't they be intimate?
Because they can, but Ra wants to watch.
Oh, okay.
And so he got really mad that they ran away from him. And
weird.
And when they're brought back to him by the Eye of Ra, Nut comes back.
Just pushing them with eyelashes.
Uh-huh.
Get. It tickles, stop.
Nut comes back, preggers, and Ra's like, no, absolutely not. You disobeyed me. You ran off into the darkness. You're not allowed to give birth any day that exists.
She's Ferrego Prego?
Uh-huh. And so Nut ended up not being able to give birth, which is incredibly uncomfortable for her. And she goes to Thoth because he's wise, and she asks for his advice. And Thoth's like, "Oh, yeah, I can come up with something. You are very pregnant."
I'm so pregnant, and my lower back is killing me. And they say the morning sickness stops after the second trimester. No way, sir. No way. All I can eat is ramen.
Well,
and that's making my feet swell. That's so much sodium.
Well, be careful puking because you are a goddess. You might puke something into existence.
I know. Trust me, I know.
Mm-hmm. Your dad's always pulling out eyeballs and teardrops, making things exist.
I puked and some scorpions came out of me. That's bad. That's bad morning
That's
sickness.
good luck.
And you think
Were they jaunty?
very jaunty. And they start singing and dancing, which is cute if you've had a night's sleep.
Mm-hmm. So Thoth takes pity on her and comes up with a plan. He says, "All right, I'll go to the moon god, Ea, and I'll challenge him to a card game."
I feel like I'm not expressing how dire this is for me.
If I win,
Okay.
I will make him give me 5 days of total night. And night, as we all know, to mince Ra's words, is not technically day. so you can start popping out your children during the
Oh.
night.
Oh, you sweet little bird man.
Mm-hmm.
I could kiss you, but you don't have a mouth.
I have a little tiny one
Nope,
at the end of
I'm good.
my curved
I'm
long
absolutely fine.
beak. Give me a little.
Nope.
Come on.
Mm,
Come on.
Oh, okay.
That was
That felt
delightful.
horrible.
So Ia accepts Tote's gamble, and no one knows what Ia asked for if he won, but it doesn't matter because Tote
It's a
wins.
loser.
He is a loser. He was probably like, I want a new china cabinet.
Aw.
So, but yeah, he doesn't get it.
All those
And-
dishes are just stacked on top, nothing to slay. Great.
And so Tote wins, and Nut is relieved, and she can finally actually have her kids. Then
Like a litter? How many kids does she have?
she has. Well, it depends on.
Of course it does.
It's either she gives birth to Osiris, Isis, Set, and Nephthys only, or she gives birth to them plus Horus.
Oh, so this is at the very beginning of time.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Okay. Wait. Then how is he around?
Tote?
This is the Tobey Maguire version.
Yeah, that's what's
Okay.
really rough.
This is why I had to sign characters. Thank you.
All right. So
It's helping the kids at home.
Tote was also credited with the creation of a number of branches of knowledge, such as, and the important ones in ancient Egypt, we got philosophy, religion,
Mhm.
science,
Yep.
writing,
Love him.
law, magic.
I love the magic branch.
He was also the god that Ra most trusted, even after helping out Nut, and so he tasked Tote with retrieving the distant goddess. And the distant goddess is known as the distant goddess because she is associated with either Hathor, Sekhmet, the Eye of Ra, or Bastet. So it's like that's why it's like
She's a distant relative of them, or
like she's physically distant. It's what Egyptologists refer to as the distant goddess, because when you say the distant goddess, it means you're talking about this myth. But since the goddess that she's related to changes, it's just easier for them to call her the distant goddess.
oh god,
Anyway, well, today we're going to talk about Hathor, so we don't have to worry about that. Today, our distant goddess is just Hathor.
just broke my brain, man.
She was Hathor was originally the personification of the Milky Way, which was considered to be milk that flowed from the udders of the heavenly cow.
Cute.
Um,
You mean a moo?
a moo. And what's sort of nice to hear about that is that the Egyptians were calling her, were calling the Milky Way, basically, like that.
Yeah.
So that I think of, when I think of the Milky Way, I think of it as being, I don't know, it's just seems like something that like Europeans would have come up with, but like I like it being older than that.
No, Europeans were busy getting all crazy with the Catholic Church, so they were just like,
And munching on mummies.
yeah,
Um,
it's a god stain.
So because of the heavenly cow, this is where Hathor's association with cows begins. She
Wait, is she a cow too?
yeah, so she
But sometimes she's a lion. No, when she turns into the other lady.
when she turns into Sekhmet, she's a lioness.
Okay.
But she is mostly seen in her human form.
Thank you.
She wears a crown that has bull horns on it.
All right.
And sometimes she's got a bovine head, and sometimes she's full on cow.
Girl, same. Depends. Depends how much pasta, right?
And she was either born at the dawn of time or plucked from Ra's brow, as I mentioned in last episode.
Yep.
Hathor was the goddess of beauty and the patron of cosmetic arts.
Oh, makeup girl.
Her traditional votive offering was 2 mirrors, and she was often depicted on mirrors and cosmetic palettes. And yet, all of this, she was not considered to be vain or shallow in any regard. She was rather like very known for like self-confidence. Like she was like
Oh,
assured of her own beauty and goodness and loved beautiful and good things.
because
She
as long as you're doing it for yourself, it's fine.
Mhm. She was also the incarnation of dance, sexuality, and masturbation,
Oh, yes.
and was
Love
given
this cow.
and when I said masturbation, it triggered Jake's PlayStation.
I'm listening.
um and she was given the epithet the hand of God, which is what ancient Egyptians referred to as the act of masturbation. It's like, oh,
I'm gonna use that.
you're doing the using the old hand of God.
Oh, I love
And
it.
she was also
So
known
that wasn't a shamed thing in this religion.
no.
Wonderful.
And she was also known as Lady of the Vulva.
All right. Not my favorite nickname.
She loved it. She occasionally took the form of the seven Hathors, who were associated with fate and fortune telling. It was thought that the seven Hathors knew the length of every child's life from the day it was born.
Well, this is a far reach from doing makeup tutorials.
Yeah, she branches out and questioned the dead souls as they traveled to the land of the dead.
You know, there's actually a new Barbie that does that. It's like makeup Barbie.
And
You hit a
questioner of the
button.
dead.
Yeah, you
Uh-huh.
hit a button and she tells you how long you have left to live.
Her priests could read the fortune of a newborn child and act as oracles to explain the dreams of people.
Oh, great. Great. Nothing's getting really fucked up with those two things the priests do.
I actually, in modern times, I do see the correlation to this because I think that the overlap of women who do makeup tutorials and witchy things online is like a pretty near overlapping Venn diagram.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So if Hathor is the distant goddess, this is how the story goes. In early history, before Horus, Set, Osiris, before any of them ruled as pharaoh, Ra ruled as pharaoh. He does a good job. He enforces the principles of Ma'at to ensure goodness in his subjects.
The 42 principles.
The 42 principles.
What are they again? Just kidding. Please stop.
I have. You want to hear them?
No.
And everyone likes goodness, except, well, not everyone, because some people start to get surly. They don't like Ra's rule. They think he's too demanding. They're like, so what if you created all life? Boo, you suck. I don't want to exist.
Well, don't make me pluck my eyebrows out. This job's hard.
Come on, unless you're in mourning for a cat, we don't want to see it. So this makes Ra really sad.
Yeah.
He falls into depression.
Oh.
His own creations hate him. And Hathor, at the same time, as a rule, she's always confident. She never gets down on herself. I mean, she gets down, but she doesn't.
Ra, I've got this.
And she doesn't ever feel guilty, anxious, or sad, which is sort of a little bit sociopathic. Or she's well medicated.
Yeah, no. If you don't feel those things, that's great. She's got her shit together. She's done her self work.
I think guilt is a good human emotion.
Guilt, yes, but sociopath is to not be empathetic.
So she's in her harem room, which is like just like a constant orgy. She's equal opportunity. She walks barefoot, wearing only lingerie, to the throne room, and she.
Does it say this?
Yes.
Ooh.
I mean, it doesn't use the word lingerie, but it's like.
Is she a cow in lingerie?
Probably. I mean, she's into some freaky shit in her.
Just
in her
lacy
harem room.
bras over her udders.
There she finds Ra moping, like, tearfully eating a half-frozen microwave burrito in the dark.
Ra, you drew on your sad eyebrows.
I'm so sad. Can you help cheer me up?
Yeah, do you want me to draw on more eyebrows, like happy eyebrows?
No, that'll make me sad.
Well, do you want me to do some dancing?
Yeah, could you do some dancing?
Yeah, I'll just shake my udders.
Okay. But before she says that, she invites him first to come back to her harem room. She's like, that literally.
What's that? You want an orgy?
Yeah, and he doesn't want that. He's like, no, I always feel like awkward. Like I'm not. That's not what I'm about. Everyone treats me weird because I like created everyone.
Well, you do. Yeah, and you have that eyeball that you make watch
Mhm.
All the fucking.
You mean my daughter eyeball?
Yeah. And that's weird.
Um, so she does, but she does ultimately exactly what you suggested. She decides to dance for him, and not only does she dance, she makes up a song. As this is in the myth. She makes up a
Rah,
song.
rah, rah, ah, ah, rah, rah.
She makes up a song. She doesn't steal the eldest goddess of all time,
So
Lady Gaga.
she
Song.
is really weird, like me. Then she's just gonna start dancing and singing her own
Oh,
song.
she's so much like you because you guess what she does next.
What?
As she
Does she eat
dances,
spaghetti?
she occasionally lifts up her skirt with the beat of her song to expose her genitals.
Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. I'm suing.
And it was upon reading this that I thought of something that I often think of when I'm reading Egyptian mythology. Is sometimes I wonder why Greek mythology is much more widely available than Egyptian. Like
You're setting this up like a Seinfeld joke.
it's not a Seinfeld joke.
Okay.
No, I'm
Hey, sometimes I wonder.
I don't think he's ever said that.
What's the deal with
There you
sometimes
go.
I wonder?
But like stories like this remind me of one of the reasons that I don't think Egyptian mythology is as widespread as Greek mythology.
Because the goddess of vulva is showing what she's got.
Sort of, yeah. It's because I'm not like in search of sexual content in Egyptian mythology stories. Like I'm not cherry picking. Like these things just sort of come up very frequently. And
Well, look what happens when you don't fucking shame everyone to keep their legs closed or they'll die. They're like, you know what's a fun part of life?
yeah.
Just flashing a vulva.
Mm-hmm. And because there's less of it than Greek mythology, it's like it's harder to just sort of like move past this. Like it's because you can tell Greek myths to children and just leave out that Zeus was raping everyone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's harder to do that in Egyptian mythology.
I mean, you can just say, and then she danced to cheer him up because he didn't want to go to her potluck.
I think, but specifically, he laughs. Her sexy dance cheers Ra up, and
So she probably does some butt drumming
and
because that is a move of mine.
she laughs He laughs specifically because because she showed him her vulva.
Does she do like a Jim Carrey thing with it?
Maybe.
Making it talk. Oh, God. I'm sorry, everyone.
So that's sort of how this part of this myth go, which is separate from it. There's no reason to tell this myth if it's just like, and so she danced and made him laugh. It's like, no. You tell this myth to talk about how she flashed her vagina and he was like, absolutely, that's hilarious. Thank you. And so he laughs and he's happy. He nearly chokes on his microwave burrito. And this only lasts for a brief amount of time. The people continue to be annoyed with Ra's rule, and he falls into his depression again. And Hathor realizes no amount of sexy genital dancing is going to make it right for him.
Try as she might.
So this is where the story intertwines with the story of Sekhmet from our last episode, is that Hathor then appeals to mankind on Ra's behalf.
Guys, he's a great guy. He really is.
And,
his eyebrows just look like that.
And when they don't listen to her, she transforms into a vengeance goddess and slaughters them all.
And is this accidental? Like, is that a frustration?
Yeah, she just sort of like becomes the Hulk. Like it just
no.
overtakes her. She journeys far and wide to make sure that she's slain every last human, stopping only to rest and gather her strength in hidden oases and caves. Ra is worried about his sexy dancing daughter and asks Thoth to go and retrieve her. He says to Thoth that, you're the calmest and the wisest, and I trust no one more with this task. So Thoth transforms himself into his full Ibis form and flies out in search.
Truly powerful.
Yeah. And flies out in search of Hathor / Sekhmet. Thoth finds Hathor, like any wise man would do. he proceeds to convince her in the forms of many adorable talking animals.
Oh.
He first shows up as a baboon and walks towards her.
And you know they love flashing their genitals.
Mhm. And he says, "Oh, Hathor, what are you doing out here in this oasis by yourself?"
I'm just pissed off. I'm a lion right now.
Yeah, but I'm an adorable baboon. Look at me. I'm a baby baboon.
Don't show me that little butt.
Look at my little butt.
I eat little baboon butts now. I'm pissed.
Ah! And he runs away. He returns as a rabbit. And he's like, "Well, look at me. I'm a little bunny rabbit. Hey, Sekhmet."
So cute, so cute, so juicy.
No, I'm not juicy. I'm here to entertain you. I promise I'll entertain you if you stop killing humans.
Do a little show.
All right.
You got magic tricks?
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
I
Hello,
eat them.
No. And then he runs away as the rabbit. He returns as an adorable little snake.
Leave and try again.
He leaves. He returns as one of those like birds that like hops away from the water when the tide comes in, and then hops back towards it. And it's just like, I'm just looking for all the sea creatures that
Stop
come up.
it! You jump so dumb.
All right.
I'll eat it.
Oh no! He leaves. He comes back as a baby jackal. And he's just like, I'm an adorable baby jackal, just looking for some carrion to eat.
Little baby.
Do you have any carrion to share with me?
No, I'm not gonna share in my carrion. Get out here.
He leaves. He comes back as a baby little camel.
That's really cute.
Mm-hmm. Now let's. Before we continue on with this, how many different animals and how many times does he come back?
Well, let me tell you a number I've found they like in Egyptian mythology. 42.
It is not 42. It is more than that.
No way.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Would it surprise you to hear he comes back and does this 1,700 times?
You don't have all that shit listed?
I don't have every
Okay.
animal listed, no. But he just does. He tries to convince her 1,700
How is
times.
this not infuriating her bloodlust?
Well, this is one of the reasons that Thoth is associated with Hermes, is because one of the stories of Hermes is that Hermes goes and talks to his name is escaping me right now. I want to say Argus. He was the groundskeeper for Hera's garden, and he was covered in eyes, and so Hermes tells him the story with no beginning or no end.
Oh, yeah, and he kills that poor thing.
Yeah. So this
Very
is sort of Thoth's equivalent to that story, is that he's like, he knows that he cannot actually quell Hathor's bloodlust, but he knows that he can buy time. And so he's just like, I will come to her as every animal in existence and plead with her to not kill humans. And I will promise her things. I will promise her entertainment. I'll promise her temples. I will promise her that people will go to these temples and give offerings and reverence to her. You know, just all the things that she wants to hear.
Right. The 42 commandments.
Yeah, except in this time it's the 1,700 commandments.
Yeah, we learned like we really can't overcommit humanity.
Yeah. And you know,
they're not even doing so great with the 10 commandments that are still pretty popular.
And you know, you got to think that like after at least like 100 animals, he's like coming as like, I'm a sand flea, or he's like, I'm a fish. God.
You can do 1,000 fish right there.
Sure, yeah.
That's 1,000.
But but he's in a desert, so he's just flopping around like nearly dying.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
And maybe that's like every 3 animals is a fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, well, and he can come specifically as that fish that ate Osiris's penis.
Now that's a comedy show.
Yeah. So eventually, yes, he gets the word after 1,700 different animals. He gets the word from Ra.
It's beer o'clock.
That it's beer o'clock.
Hell yeah.
They fill the river with fake blood, and she drinks it, and Hathor returns to her kind and loving self afterwards.
And is she a little sorry?
After killing humans?
Yeah.
No, she never apologizes. Remember, she never feels guilt. And she's also like, that wasn't me. That was
That
my
wasn't
alter
me.
ego. That was my alter ego segment.
That was so crazy when she did that, right?
Mhm.
Her?
Her, yeah.
That other god? Not me?
Not me.
I was sleeping. I was sleeping the whole time.
So I'm gonna tack on just like one other little piece. This is a goddess that we've also talked about that I only brushed over before, and there's not much to say about her, but I thought I would talk about Taweret a little bit, because Taweret is that hippo goddess that I brought up before.
Yeah.
And Taweret is also involved in the myth that we've sort of keep revisiting, which is the struggle between Horus and Set.
What was the fight of the century?
Yeah.
Are we
So-
going to forget about Tyson and Gloryfield? Holyfield?
Yes, we will forget about that. Oh God,
Gloryfield.
Gloryfield, you know. So Taweret, ancient hippo goddess of maternal issues. She was like sort of the goddess of child rearing, which is why she specifically had those two floppy breasts. She wasn't just
That's right.
she wasn't just a hippo goddess though, because her face was crocodilian
Don't like that.
and her feet were lion-like.
What? How does
And
that help you in the
something
water?
that I was sort of sad about when I was reading about her is that these were the apex predators of ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
But in modern times, there aren't lions
Don't.
in Egypt, and there aren't hippos in Egypt anymore. The only apex predator that still exists in the Egyptian region are the crocodiles, and this comes from
Humans.
it has become more arid in Egypt. So
Climate change.
yeah, climate change changed where the lions wanted to hang out.
Well,
in-
also, humans are going to hoard any area that has natural water sources.
Yeah. And the hippos
Hmm.
was more of a case of overhunting than the lions. So
Fuck, we hunting hippos for?
they're big, scary, and dangerous, and people were afraid of them.
Hmm.
So anyway, that's Taweret. Taweret was a consort of Set, and during the struggle between Horus and Set, the part during her worship in the New Kingdom where people cared about her more and felt like she needed inclusion in the story was that she, as a goddess of child rearing and life, did not want to support Set, even though she was his consort at this time.
Why?
Because she's
Such a cool guy.
well, yeah, because she's goddess of life, and he was doing all he could to purport death.
That's nice to hear someone took a stand.
Yeah, and not only did she take a stand, she took a sit. That's part of the story, if you include Taweret, is that when he was trying to go after Horus to kill Horus, she sat on him. She sat on Set and kept him from chasing after him.
It is too bad these tales are so graphic because there's so many Looney Tune moments.
Yeah. Mm.
I'd still like to see it all animated. It'd be
Yeah.
fun.
But yeah, that's basically all I have to tack on about Taweret. She was there. She was cool looking.
I don't know if she's cool looking.
Well, she was though.
She got a crocodile face.
Yeah. I mean, she's not sexy, but
You're forgetting those two titties? Yeah, she's got a little bit too much going on.
yeah,
But everybody's beautiful.
even hers.
Except that one.
So yeah, that's about Thoth and Hathor and a little piece of Taweret.
Well, thank you.
That's what I got for you today.
I enjoyed learning about Hathor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
She was very popular in the earlier periods of Egypt, and then Isis's popularity eclipsed hers, and so
come on, women support women. Why can't there be more?
it just was sort of the way it went. Sort of
Yeah.
like Sekhmet was like very early on, and then kind of faded away too. And you see a lot of cultures do this, where sort of like the earlier versions of gods are like very angry and violent.
Yep.
Because it's like this dawn of civilization where people are fighting and everything's difficult, and then they reach a place of some level of comfort, and then the gods become kinder, and the scarier gods diminish in power.
Oh, she's scary because she just killed everybody one time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But people still liked her because she was a reason to drink.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
What's St. Patty's deal?
I don't know.
Why do they drink for him?
I honestly don't know. I'm sure someone, now that we've asked this on the podcast, someone will tell us.
I mean, also I could Google it. I'm just not.
No.
I'm not Catholic.
Let someone yell at us.
Well, I liked learning about those beautiful women.
Yeah.
Good job. And left and right and left and right. And here you are. Welcome to Hathor's dance class. Now, it's a fusion class. It's a little bit of everything. Do you like hip hop? Do you like modern? Do you like jazz? Do you like playing with your vulva? Well, we've got it all. We like to fuse it all together and have one sick drop. Come on, guys.
What if you've got two left feet and they're both lion feet? Hi, I'm Towerhead. I'm here to take the class too.
That's totally fine. Just play with your vulva more.
What if I'm commonly not depicted with even really having a vulva because my hippopotamus belly covers it in sculptures?
Just slap them titties round.
That I can do.
There you go, girl. Now left and right and up and down and drop it to the ground and kiss the ground with your vagina.
Ho, 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 ho. Thanks, Hathor. You always make me laugh.
Are you just saying that because your eyebrows are drawn cute?
Yeah.
Love you, Dad. If anything ever happened to you, I'd fucking lose it. I don't even know what I would do if you were kind of sad for a while longer. Like, I'd go berserk.
Noted.
I don't even feel guilt. It's crazy. I'm like always this happy.
Have another drink.
And 1 and 2 and back it up and make a little cannonball. Shoot him out. Shoot him out. Shoot him out.
Oh, it's one of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, bless your soul.
Bless this mess.
Bless this mess. Thank you so much for another riveting episode of things that should be animated, but they can't because it's too disgusting for anyone to see.
Yes. If you want to take a look at Sarah's face on social media, that you can find it on at the Sarah Oliver.
If you want to look at this guy's grub.
My grub?
You can grubby face is what I was gonna say.
Okay.
You're beautiful.
Okay.
If you want to see perfection so gorgeous your eyeballs will bleed, look at the Paul Bianchi on Instagram and Twitter.
And if you want to look at more Mythunderstood stuff, you can find us at _Mythunderstood, and you can find this network at It's Dragon Wagon.
Hey, and guess what? We got some face masks now for It's Dragon Wagon. Isn't that right?
Yeah, because people asked about them. And
people asked about him.
And you know what? Jake Lloyd delivered.
He delivered so quick.
There's actually this one that's, well, there's a few that are really, really good, but like I really like the ones that are like patterns that he did that are like they just look really cool.
You know what? I think the best way to see what you're describing is to look at Dragon Wagon Radio Shop.
No, dragonwagonshop.com.
Well, I wasn't giving them a web address. I was just saying it's called the Dragon Wagon Radio.
Okay.
.com. All right. Thank you guys. Love you. Night, night.
Night.
Hey there, Mythfits. This is producer of the show, Jake Lloyd here, co-founder of Dragon Wagon Radio. I just wanted to take a quick moment to tell you about my debut feature film, Pinch. Pinch is a story of two strangers brought together by the chance to own a rare and valuable sports collectible, but to do so, they're tasked with stepping out of their comfort zones and onto a baseball field. It's a story about love, family, how we define success, and how sometimes it's hard to look beyond our own insecurities. I made Pinch with no budget, no crew, just a ton of heart, and I am thrilled to finally share it with you. You can rent or buy it digitally on Amazon or watch for free on Prime Video. Visit pinchmovie.com and follow @pinchmovie on Instagram for more info on this charming little movie that means the world to me. Thank you so much for listening to Dragon Wagon Radio and Myth Understood. I appreciate your time. Now let's hear that awesome little network stinger that comes at the end of each and every show. Hey, you know, the voice on that little network stinger, that's Tony Wayne, star of Pinch, now on Amazon. See what I did there? Okay, bye. I love you. Thank you so much. Pinchmovie.com.
It's Dragon Wagon.